Welcome back, everyone. This is QuestionMarc,
And I'm Ame.
and we're back with part two of Marvel Superheroes Commander tier list. We've got a tier list going. Nobody's been upgraded to my hero yet. That is sad for them. I'm sure some of them will earn it.
That's okay, we're only most of the way through the C's. It's
Yeah,
gonna take a
there's
long time.
so freaking many of them. And this is, of course, only the main set, the standard set.
We have more to do after this one,
Yeah, yeah.
after we get through all these guys.
So let's jump into it. I believe we left off at Cloak and Dagger Entwined. What do they do?
For 1 mana, a white and a black, you get a 2/2 human hero with Death Touch and Lifelink. Oh, very appropriate. When Cloak and Dagger enter, choose target opponent and up to one target creature they control. They reveal their hand. You may exile a non-land card from their hand or the chosen creature until Cloak and Dagger leave the battlefield.
Okay, so
You got anything in your hand? We already see your field. What do you got in your hand? Oh, you are not allowed to have that. Bye.
so you choose the opponent and a creature they control. They reveal their hand. You may exile an online card from their hand or the chosen creature. Okay. So actually, your opponent does not get any choice during all of this.
That's right.
Okay.
These guys are a hunt and destroy crew.
Yeah, and of course we've got like this is my dark side and this is my light side, hence the death touch and the lifelink. But honestly, 3 mana 2/2 death touch lifelink is, decent when you don't even figure in the enter trigger. But then the enter trigger there. Okay, so you steal one of their things until they leave the battlefield. So for a minute there, I was thinking, okay, decent enough stats to build off of, but honestly, I don't know how much combat this thing is going to do. I don't expect that the strength of it would be in Voltron, of like putting a bunch of equipment on it.
Honestly, I'd rather have these folks in the 99.
Yeah, well, would you even do that? I think the answer is yes. If you're playing a hero deck that includes black,
And white.
well, I mean, lots of the hero decks are going to include white. Black is the big question mark. A lot of these. Oh, director Nick Fury, I believe, has black in the on the card, like in the color identity. But like the Fantastic Four deck doesn't. The Captain America deck doesn't. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that this card is bad, but I don't think that it's commander material, in part because flickering it is not good, because you take away a card and you give it back, and you take it away and then you give it back.
Yeah.
So, it is nice to play a creature and then, like, steal a card from somebody, and then as long as you keep that creature around, you've stolen that card and you keep it. But,
It can do a lot to keep a threat out of use until you're ready to deal with it.
But it's almost worse for it to be your commander, because then it might die and then you bring it back and then it'll die again and there are incentives to kill it, kind of. So,
Yeah, better in the 99.
yeah, I don't think it's that great, but it's probably better than these two. So, we are moving on to Colleen Wing, Street Samurai. And thank God she is legitimately a samurai. That might be helpful to me. But what does she do?
For 1 mana and a white, you get a 2/2 human samurai hero. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, put a 1/1 counter on Colleen Wing. Scry 1.
Okay, so this isn't going to be that great in my samurai deck, unfortunately. Because the main mechanics that we saw on samurai the last time that they were printing a bunch of them were... let's see, it was whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone. Whenever one of them attacks alone. And yeah, you're going to see that on a lot of these cards. Whenever one of them attacks alone. Yeah, so most of them cared about a creature attacking alone. So she cares about you casting spells that target a creature you control.
So your sorceries, maybe some instants, definitely enchantments, equipments, auras.
So equipment don't count
Oh,
actually,
equipment doesn't count.
because you cast equipment, they go onto the battlefield, and then to attach them to a creature, you pay the equip cost, and that's an ability. But you were right about the auras. Normal enchantments also don't target a creature you control, but auras generally do. I mean, unless you're talking about like an aura that enchants a player or something. So something like I remember Armored Ascension used to be pretty spicy back in the day. I want to read that one for us.
For 3 mana and a white, you get an aura, and enchanted creature gets a 1/1 for each planes you control and has flying. Oh, that would be a good match for this deck.
Yeah, in mono white decks, she'll give you a +1/+1 counter. She'll scry, and then she'll get +1/+1. Yeah, for each planes you control and flying. In fact, it does say you control, right? Okay, because
Yep.
this is around the era where they were phasing out cards that cared about like permanents everyone controlled. So there was a chance that this said like for each planes on the battlefield or something. But no. Okay, but still, your commander getting big and flying in mono white, that used to be a pretty powerful card. Still kind of could be. But let's see what else. Instants tend to be pretty. Okay, actually, here's part of it is that if you put a +1/+1 counter and you scry one, I think the ideal thing is you'd want to do that a lot.
Yes.
How much can you do that? And you don't want to be flickering her because then the counters fall off. So how much could you do it? I think, actually, funny enough, when I said that you don't want to flicker her, I think the card that I'm looking for is Flickering Ward.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it is. Want to read that one for us?
For 1 white, you enchant a creature. As this aura enters, choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect doesn't remove this aura. And for another white, you can return the aura to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's useful.
So you can give her protection from red. She'll get a +1/+1 counter, scry one, and then you can pay a white, return it to your hand, replay it, give her protection from black, put another counter on her, scry one again. And of course, the protections won't stack, but the counters in the scrying will. And you can't cast it at instant speed, but you can return it to your hand at instant speed. So it does allow you to, like, white, do this repeatedly, loop. Going to all that effort, is it worth it? Probably not, honestly. She's still pretty underwhelming considering an uncommon commander. So I'm not going to say reject. I also, is she better in the 99? I think maybe if you're doing, okay, will be a good deck for her to be in the 99 of probably, there's a king and queen in Theros who are named, for some reason I can only think of the gay kings, not the heterosexual king and queen. They are, Annex and Cymede. That's, I think, their names. Annex and Cymede. This is who I'm thinking of. The heroic commander. This is the last one that I'm going to have do as a diatribe here, if you want to read that one for us again.
All right, 1 mana, red, white. You get a 3/2 human soldier with first strike and vigilance, and the ability Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Annex and Cymede, creatures you control gain 1/1 and gain trample until end of turn. Okay, so this is like an upgraded version of Colleen.
Yeah, because you include the color red. But this counts when you cast a spell that targets any creature you control. This counts when you target Annex and Cymede specifically. So I think what you might do here, you might play Colleen Wing in an Annex and Cymede deck. And actually, I think a red-white deck where the commander, has 3 power for 3 mana, first strike, vigilance, and then whenever you're casting things, you're giving all your creatures +1/+1 and trample, and you do that like multiple times with Flickering Ward or something. That's kind of a deck.
Yeah.
But that is a long walk to get anything useful for Colleen Wing. I think I got to put her down here.
Oof.
You could run her as your commander, but I think you might be better off with a number of other things. Because remember, she doesn't have evasion. She doesn't actually draw you cards. She doesn't have any defensive ability like hexproof or ward or anything like that. No life gain, no vigilance. So she's missing a lot of things. So we're moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We better, otherwise we're not going to make it to the F's in this video.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, Crossbones, malicious mercenary. Do you remember him?
No.
Well, that's understandable. He had a rivalry with Captain America, and Captain America may not have realized it.
He definitely looks like the sort of thing that a 13-year-old boy would come up with.
This is edgy, and I am 13.
I am 14, and this is dark.
Yeah. Alright, what does he do?
For 3 mana and a black, you get a 3/3 human mercenary villain with Death Touch. Whenever another villain you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on Crossbones. He deals 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, so you want to put him in a villain deck, and I guess that kind of cements his... To me, that kind of cements his sidekick status. It's like the Avengers versus Thanos, and also Crossbones is here.
Honestly, he's so similar to Baron Strucker. There's actually a lot of mono black cares about villain cards, and a lot of them have like a piece of the puzzle. Baron Strucker makes them cheaper. Crossbones turns them into damage and a permanent buff on this Death Toucher. That's all great, except so far being stuck in mono black is a bit of a problem. Being only able to do the thing once every turn is a bit of a problem. Once again, it doesn't have any defensive ability, no evasion, even though Death Touch is kind of close to evasion. It doesn't do card draw. There's a lot of things that this is missing that could be solved by adding another color. So, you'll probably want to be doing like a blue-black or a red-black villains deck, and then he'd be a great member of the 99, and so would Baron Strucker.
All right. Now to my newest crush.
Oh my. Daredevil, the man without fear.
I was fully not expecting that to happen, but here we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, most people, when they start watching the Daredevil Netflix show, they start having a crush on Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Charlie Cox, whatever you want to say. But go ahead.
All right, for 2 mana, a red and a white, you get a 3/4 human hero with vigilance and haste. His ability is radar sense. You may look at the top card of your library anytime because he can hear what it says. Whenever you attack, you may exile the top card of your library. If that card is a hero card, Daredevil gets +2/+1 until end of turn. You may play that card this turn.
Okay, so are we passing the vanilla test?
No.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But then again, Daredevil isn't known for having super strength or anything like that.
Nope, he's just really tough.
Yeah, he does have some cool abilities. Vigilance and haste are both pretty cool.
I'd say the vigilance and haste make up for the failure of the vanilla test. I mean, he only barely fails it.
Yeah. So that's all establishing like a solid baseline. Then radar sense. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Kind of a nothing ability most of the time. It's usually part of a second thing, and indeed in this case it is, that whenever you attack you can exile top card. If it's a hero, he gets bigger until end of turn, and you can play it. Okay, so it's kind of like card draw. I and a lot of people I know don't really love the whole like temporary card draw thing of exiling a card and you can play it this turn. But I think the bigger problem here is that you really only do anything if that card is a hero. So how many heroes do you have to put into your deck in order for him to reliably reveal one and get the buff and let you play it? And the answer is a lot. You'd have to play a really high number. And I don't know that there's that many that are that good. And is the thing about Daredevil that he has a million friends who are like falling over each other to jump into battle alongside him?
I thought that was just a sidekick of being a hero.
Or a side effect. Yeah.
Oh my god, I cannot stop with the memeable malaprops.
Well, obviously we're doing sidekick as one of the tiers here, but okay, I think that if you are playing a deck that is absolutely jam packed with heroes, then he's a good fit in the 99.
Yep.
Yeah, like we've seen some Captain Americas. I would say you're probably at your best when you have like one more color than that. Like the red, white, and blue Captain America would be an excellent commander to throw him into the 99 of. He's not bad. In fact, I'm gonna put Agent Phil down a couple notches, and I'm gonna say he's probably around here, right around the middle. Also, different arts here. So we have kind of old school, except white. Wait, is that a candy cane?
I think that's a candy cane.
Wait, no, that's right. It's supposed to be disguisable as a cane in some forms,
Oh,
but in
yeah.
others it's just like a club. Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, I like this
Sexy.
one a lot. It's also reminiscent of the like red cityscape
That you
that
get
you
in the
see in
intro
the intro
sequence
to the
of the
show.
show.
Yeah, though I also do really like this one.
Me too.
A lot of these are very like,
Beautiful.
yeah, what a suit he wears and how that suit wears him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Um, let's see. But by the way, I forgot to mention that Colleen Wing is found primarily in the Iron Fist TV show. Cloak and Dagger got their own TV show on
I
a
am
different channel.
I am curious about that one because I like these two.
I hear it's kind of like a teen melodrama in a way.
Mm,
But I don't know.
that dampens my enthusiasm a little bit.
And Crossbones was featured in Captain America and the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War, where you know the epic elevator fight that Captain America did?
Yeah?
Yeah, Crossbones is one of the guys there. Then the helicarrier crashes into like the Shield headquarters, and it kind of collapses on him. And then he shows up at the beginning of Civil War with
Not
a bomb
dead.
with a bomb strapped to his chest, tries to blow up in Captain America's face. Scarlet Witch contains it, floats him up into the sky, and then explodes. And that is the inciting incident for the whole Sokovia Accords.
Oh, so
Is the bomb he made to kill himself and Cap. And it didn't work.
Congratulations, Crossbones. You were way more trouble than you were worth.
Yep. Anyway, on to a guy who I really don't know at all, but he barely fits in that shirt. Doc Samson, super psychiatrist.
Actually, I'm totally on board with this. Somebody needs to give these people therapy.
Yeah.
I like how you can see in the mirror that the Hulk is the one he's giving a session to.
Yeah, read the flavor text.
Go ahead, Bruce. Let out your feelings.
Well, what does he do?
For 4 mana and a green, you get a 3/6 Gamma Doctor hero. If you would put one or more counters on a permanent you control, put that many plus one of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent instead. And for a tap, you add X mana of any one color, where X is Dr. Samson's power.
So this is interesting. We've got a commander that is a mana dork, like Land of War Elf or Birds of Paradise or something, but instead of costing 1 or 2, he costs freaking 5. Also, by the way, I failed to mention in a previous video when I was thinking about it, about some creature types like Doctor. Doctor was not a creature type in Magic for a long time until...
Doctor Who!
That's right, Doctor Who was the first Doctor in Magic.
And the Doctor's not even a real doctor.
No.
He just calls himself that because he can.
Yeah, it's like what he wants to be metaphorically, kind of. But also, on another one that we saw in the last video, there was a Scientist. And Scientist, I believe, was premiered in Magic on Dr. Grant and Ellie Sadler from Jurassic Park.
Ah.
So we now have doctors and scientists and detectives in Magic, when they kind of existed in the game, but they weren't called that until recently. All that is to say that this guy is a mana dork that comes out so late, but he taps for 3 mana of any one color. But if he's your commander, you only make green.
And green is already overloaded on ramp, I think.
Yeah. Now, the one kind of redeeming factor here, though, is that first part where, you increase the number of counters. And unlike a lot of cards we've been seeing recently that do that, it's not just +1/+1 counters. It's any kind of counters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can do your research however you want on like, other kinds of counters broadly. But if we look at things like Garruk, let's see, maybe maybe Garruk Primal Hunter would be a pretty good example. So Planeswalkers, Super Friends. Green has been the most important color in Super Friends for a long time, mostly because traditionally Planeswalkers will have a starting loyalty of something like 3, and then an ultimate ability that costs something like 6, that it normally takes a bunch of turns to get up to. But if you play Doubling Season, a classic beloved card, if an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many instead. So that means playing Garruk, you put 6 counters on him instead, and he's ready to ultimate right out of the gate. And most Planeswalkers had an ultimate ability that was dang near you win the game on it. So you pop off a few of those, and you should have the game won. Dog Samson is similar, but he doesn't say double. He says 1 more. But also, importantly, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, this is why I'm sharing it here, Doubling Season says if an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent. And if you look at cards like Garruk Primal Hunter, this first column, the column on the left here, these are not effects, these are costs. It makes sense when it costs -3 or it costs -6, but costing +1 is a little weird. That is not the cost. That is not the effect. This is the effect. So if you have Doubling Season, yes, it will enter with twice as many counters, but when you go to do like a +1, it does not double that. That's what people get confused about, because that is not an effect. This is. So you compare, though, Doubling Season, which says if an effect would create, to Dog Samson, which says if you would put 1 or more counter. It doesn't specify effect, which means that it does work with the +1 on Planeswalkers. So I realize that's kind of a long walk, but this is a reason why a lot of people don't understand this interaction, and this makes a big difference because now you could build a mono green, possibly like big strong man Planeswalker deck, like Super Garruk deck or something like that. Vivian is a green Planeswalker. There are others.
The green Planeswalkers have started going to therapy.
Yeah. So
You could call it the group therapy deck.
oh my god. Or it's not easy being green. Yes. Okay. But here's the thing. All that said, I can't say that he's good. He's gonna be a wild card. But he's gonna be like maybe around here as a wild card. He needs some support, but he also offers some support.
That is a fun wild card, though.
Okay, next
Dr.
we have
Doom. The edgiest name ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as edgy as a name as you can get without involving X's or Z's.
Yeah. Well, what does he do?
For 4 mana and 2 black, you get a 3/3 human scientist villain. When Dr. Doom enters, create 2 3/3 colorless robot villain artifact creature tokens named Doombot.
Yeah.
As long as you control an artifact creature or a plan, Dr. Doom has Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, you draw a card and lose 1 life.
I really like the flavor of if Dr. Doom has any of his Doombots around, or if he's got a plan, he can't be killed.
Yep.
Because that is so in flavor for him that, it's only when his plans are foiled that he can be defeated. It's only when he's out of Doombots, because the Doombots are often like decoys.
This guy is definitely... I want to invent a magic archetype called, like, Boss Fight, or maybe Dracula.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go through like, yeah, you can get to that guy, but he's going to force you to go through his army first.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy sitting on his throne. He's slouching in his throne. He's drinking a glass of wine that he might throw aside because he doesn't care.
What is a man?
A miserable pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you!
So, here's the weird thing, though, is that I almost wish Doctor Doom wasn't indestructible, because if he dies and returns to the battlefield, he'll make you more Doom bots. So, because 6 mana for
you could flicker him,
three. Well,
or
black,
bounce him.
Black can't really do that. So if he's your commander, he can't flicker himself. He can't bounce himself. What he can do is what is it? To
die.
Yeah. To evil is too evil? There.
Too evil to stay dead.
Yes. Okay, choose target creature in your graveyard with mana value 4 or less. If this spell was cast using Teamwork, instead choose target creature in your graveyard. Oh, okay. So if you do Teamwork, you can make the dream work and in fact bring back Doctor Doom. So, okay, you cast Doctor Doom, he makes his 2 bots, right?
Yeah.
You sacrifice Doom to something like Viscera Seer or freaking Phyrexian Arena or Altar, Phyrexian Altar. Anyway, Doom's dead. Then you cast something like Too Evil to Stay Dead, and you can tap both of the Doom bots, which have a total power of 6, in order to bring him back from the graveyard to the battlefield. You make 2 more Doom bots. And
it was a ploy to get a bigger army.
Yeah, and you've netted mana, or you've netted Scry, or you've netted whatever. Altar of Dementia also is another free sack outlet. And Too Evil to Stay Dead is one of the worst of this effect. I've been seeing a lot of Malakir Rebirth. This is a very popular card because it is a land on the back, but on the front, for 1 mana, you can blah, 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 blah. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield. That's what matters.
Yeah.
So you can cast that targeting Doom, sacrifice Doom to something, Doom comes back, makes 2 more friends. Well, I don't know if there'd be friends, but 2 more of these guys who look like Doom from a distance. So I think, though, that isn't that great of a plan. At the beginning of your end step, you draw a card and lose a life. That's kind of nice. I'm thinking that the plan might be, strangely enough, like, throw all the villain synergy things in here, and you're going mono-black villains, but you also throw in all of the Malakir Rebirth effects, the ones that say when it dies, you bring it back, and then keep an eye out for,
Black is good at.
Black is great at that, yeah. There's probably, 6 of them that cost 1 mana, and then, maybe 6 more that cost a little more than that. Mm-hmm. So you can play nearly a dozen different effects where he dies and comes back. And that's pretty great, because then you can get multiple Doom bots for cheap. They are villains, so you trigger your villain synergies. I think it's alright. But that said, it's surprisingly not that great for a mythic rare Doctor Doom. So I'm going to put, at the top of Wildcard.
Can we also see the alternate art?
Yes. There's a lot of alternate arts. And we probably don't have time to look at all of them.
Very green. There we go. Boom! I think I like that one best.
Yeah. So a lot of these are going to have classic comic covers. These ones are going to be, you commissioned a portrait and they have their logo behind them. They're yeah. And then this is going to be just
action shot.
Full art, but a good magic artist. Yeah.
I like the comic book one best for Doctor Doom, though. That's there we go.
A lot of them are like that. All right. Next, we take a look at Echo, who appears to be kicking Kingpin in the face. Despite I don't think I know who Echo Perceptive Prodigy is.
I don't know either. Is she a member of the Foot? The Hand. Sorry, the Hand.
Good call. By the way, I love that we got the Ninja Turtles set earlier in 2026 where the Foot Clan is a thing, and the Foot Clan was always a parody of the Hand, which are the ninjas in Marvel, which we now have also in 2026. So the Foot and the Hand can now work together.
And you probably already know this, but the stuff that blinded Daredevil is the same stuff that mutated the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, like it's pretty much canon that the ooze, the mutagen, they're the same thing that gave Daredevil his powers. But I'm noticing here that looks like a hand on her face, and yet she isn't creature type ninja.
Well, no, she's a
But
hero.
wait, but she's got a shuriken. I don't know what's going on here. What does she do?
Well, for 2 mana and a blue, you get a 1/4 with human hero with vigilance.
Huh?
For 1 mana and a tap, you copy target activated or triggered ability you control from a creature source. You may choose new targets for the copy. Mana abilities can't be targeted.
Huh. Okay, on the one hand, my first thought here is she is physically weak, being a, 1 power, 3 mana vigilance creature. I mean, she's not doing a lot of damage to Kingpin there, obviously.
Well, to be fair, that's Kingpin.
Yeah, I mean, that's a respectable attempt. Also, of course, he's like 1,000 times her size.
Yeah, I think you have to start hitting this guy with with the force of a car before you start doing any real damage.
Yeah, at least that might wind him, He'll go oof when you get him with that.
That one he might feel the next day.
Yeah, his cheek might change colors.
Barely.
And what happened to her pants? I don't know.
The 90s. The 90s happened.
Oh, yeah, the 90s happened. She bought them that way. Oh, wait, the flavor text. Do you want to read it?
I've seen the fighting techniques of some of the best. Now their strengths are mine.
Oh?
Maybe that's what her power is. Adopted muscle memory.
Okay, so she's Taskmaster. But Taskmistress.
Echo is a better name.
Yeah. Okay, so initially I was concerned about this and that she's mono blue, so she's limited to just... Okay, like, how many shenanigans can you get up to when you're limited to one color? But blue is the most shenanigans color.
It is.
But then also you... let's see, wait a second. No, I am reading this wrong. Okay, I thought for a minute there that this was the, only do this once per turn thing. She has tap in the cost, so normally you can only do that kind of thing once per turn. But there is no limiter on her set in stone. So copying an activated or triggered ability from a creature source. What could you do with that? Well, you could do something like, how about, what is the Drake's name? There's so many Drakes in Magic. This is not going to work out very well. Yeah, there might be, maybe I'm just remembering the wrong... Oh, wow, Gilded Drake. Actually, I'll come back to that one. But there's a Drake that untaps 5 lands. Peregrine Drake. There you go.
Very pretty.
It costs 5 mana, but it untaps 5 lands, so it's effectively kind of free with the mail-in rebate.
Yeah.
And you get a 2/3 flyer. Neat. Now that is a triggered ability. So, Echo, you tap her, you copy that triggered ability. You get to untap 5 lands again. They can be the same ones. You can also be playing things like High Tide in a deck like this. So that, in fact, why don't you read this one?
For 1 mana, you get an instant. Until end of turn, whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds an additional blue.
Yeah, so you can do High Tide, you can do Peregrine Drake. There are a number of spells that untap a bunch of lands like this. Like there's Great Whale. There it is. Untap 7 lands. Or Palancron.
Can we do things other than untap lands?
Nope. Yes. But I'm just saying that with enough of these, you can kind of rely on doing some huge turn where you've, copied all this stuff. there's probably some ways of untapping Echo herself in order to loop it. Like, is it Deceiver Exarch? Is that what I'm thinking of? Deceiver Exarch. Blah, 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 blah.
Untap permanent you control.
Yeah, okay. So, this enters, you can untap Echo, and then you can tap Echo to copy the ability again. By the way, yeah, if you do this, you can have Deceiver Exarch's ability on the stack, copy the ability, untap Echo, and then before the original Deceiver Exarch's ability resolves, you can copy it again. This doesn't go infinite because it costs 1 mana every time. So, you haven't quite gotten infinite yet, but we're close. I think that there's probably like 100 3-piece infinite combos with her. I can't think of if there's any 2-piece ones. And there are probably a lot of other things you can do with her. I think to kind of wrap it up here, why have I got the alphabet wrong? I don't know. To kind of wrap it up here, I think that she's actually a really good wild card.
Eat that, Doom.
Yeah, and eat that Kingpin. Now then, yeah, I did get it incorrect about the alphabet here. So Electra is next as Daughter of the Hand, and she's a ninja.
For 2 mana and 2 black, you get a 3/3 human ninja villain. She's got Sneak for 1 and 2 black. You may cast the spell for that cost if you also return an unblocked attacker you control to hand during the Declare Blocker step. She enters tapped and attacking. When Electra enters, destroy target creature an opponent controls with power 3 or less.
That's not terribly exciting. Certainly not as your commander. Because even if you're paying the sneak cost to bring her out, 3 mana, 3/3, destroys a small creature, that's just not that exciting to, like,
She
be the
basically
leader of your
comes
whole
out
deck.
and that's it.
Yeah, so honestly, she
Dynamic
seems...
entry! I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, and she's throwing her sai there, and it's cool and all to, like, throw your weapon at somebody and then kill them, but, like...
But then you have to go back and pick it up.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have more than one enemy. And let me tell you, in a game of Commander, you do!
You have 3. Keep your blades.
And each of them has multiple creatures. But...
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does casting her with the sneak cost from the command zone circumnavigate the mana tax?
It does not.
Oh, well then do not put her in the command zone regardless.
Yeah, So if she's died and she's back in the command zone, this does allow you to sneak her onto the battlefield. However, because it says that you are casting her, you do have to pay the additional cost to cast her. That is the commander tax.
Good at murder, not good at tax evasion.
No, unfortunately, it's the IRS that killed her.
Sidekick, I think.
So definitely sidekick, and I'm mostly putting, you know what, right here, right here.
Why? So she even
right next to Daredevil. Yeah, they've got a history. They do, but also, like, there are ninja decks, there are mono black villain decks. Sneaking is, you know, fairly doable in one of those decks as a neat, like, one-time trick or something. But just don't make her your commander. She's not a good leader.
No, she enters and then she's done.
Yeah, and she only kills a small thing. So, okay. One last comparison is to the Chupacabra. Chupacabra. Ravenous Chupacabra. When this creature enters, destroy target creature an opponent controls. So for 4 mana, you can have this enter and destroy any creature. Or for 4 mana, you can have this enter and destroy only a tiny creature. The rest of the stats are kind of negligible. So we're moving on. We're moving on to Falcon. Winged Wonder.
Here we go. All right, for 4 mana and a blue, you get a 3/4 human hero with flying. His ability is Avian Telepathy. When Falcon enters, create Redwing, a legendary 1/1 blue bird scout creature token with flying, and whenever Redwing attacks, surveil 1. That's...
Okay, so let's add the power and toughness and see if we still pass the vanilla test. So if we add the 1 power from the bird and the 1 toughness from the bird, what do we get?
We get 4/5, which still fails.
Yep. And granted, it's all flying, and it's on 2 separate bodies, and the bird, when it attacks, you surveil. But all of that is pretty undercooked. I don't know if this is a bad card, per se, but it's not commander material.
No.
No.
I agree with that.
So I think the only question now is, are there decks where you would play this in the 99? And maybe, actually, I don't know. If you really like the surveillability, if the surveillability is great, what are you doing with the whole Falcon? You just want Red Wing. Play something smaller that just does the surveil. If you like bird kindred kind of synergies, same deal. If you're doing hero synergies, then this doesn't really help you at all. Man, I kind of hate to put Falcon into lame, but I'm really not sure what deck he's good in. Honestly, I'm just not seeing it. I'm going to put him, like, here.
Oof. Sorry, Falcon.
Right. Not lame, but reject. But it's okay. Sam Wilson got better jobs at other points in his career. And he was a sidekick when he started. I'm glad that he got upgraded, but still. We are moving on to Fin Fang Foom. And I've heard a lot of people pronounce it Fing for some reason. Fin Fang Foom. I imagine that it's done with like a offensive Chinese stereotype sound voice, so I'm not going to do that.
I have a suspicion that this was drawn with problematic thoughts in mind. Not this art, but this character was invented with problematic thoughts in mind.
Perhaps, and yet this guy is a super monster in Marvel. I know that
he is a pretty cool looking monster, though. I give him that.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the monsters that can show up and give like a whole team a run for their money. So
that mouth is so uncanny. It looks just a hair too human.
You know what he is? He's a Jabberwocky.
Oh my god, you're right, except he doesn't have wing. Oh wait, he does have tiny wings.
He's got like multiple kind of winglets. I don't know. Why don't you tell us what he does?
Oh my god, he can fly.
Yeah.
For 2 mana and 2 red, you get a 3/5 alien dragon villain with flying.
Alien dragon villain.
Sure!
I love this. Okay.
Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets an artifact or land, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Fin Fang Foom.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, bracket system magic.
What are you doing?
So we're familiar with the bracket system by now, I hope. Yeah. Okay. So here's no mass land denial. And then it's allowed. So don't put Fin Fang Foom in a bracket 3 or less deck, because he says when you cast a spell that targets a land, you can copy it. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to Stone Rain people. You're going to Stone Rain people.
Yep.
Yeah, doing that twice, pretty nasty. Now, I'm going to look up a couple. It sounded like you had a thought. Fin Fang Foom is pretty wild.
Sounds like he might be, sounds like he might have been made with an eye toward the bracket, toward the third bracket. Maybe,
in that, like, if he's your commander, you're going kind of, you're being nasty. In fact, Magic, like
seems
Wizards,
like it might be a good reflection of the character.
Yeah, Wizards has been like really shy about printing land destruction in the last like decade, honestly. Like you saw that Stone Rain was last printed a long time ago. So let's go target land. And how about, yeah, sort by release date, sure. So this can destroy a land, but they go get a replacement one. This one doesn't destroy land. This one doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, that one kind of does. So interesting. I believe Fin Fang Foom should be able to copy Rocket Volley, even though this is a creature card. That is a sorcery spell tacked onto him. So Yeah. Cares about sorcery spells. It doesn't say sorcery cards. And that's important here because Rocket Volley is not a card, but it is a spell. So,
Important
yeah.
distinctions.
If you Rocket Volley somebody, if you Price of Freedom them or Boomy Bash them or something like that, yes, Fing Fang Foom will double that. Now, is that a nice thing to do?
No.
No.
That's why it's bracket 3.
No, above bracket 3. We're talking 4.
Oh, right.
Honestly, this guy seems kind of nuts for bracket 4. You absolutely do want to be doing stuff like this. And if I remember right, oh yeah, Sundering Eruption is one of the better ones because it is just straight up the same cost as Stone Rain. Of course, they do get a replacement, but also creatures without flying can't block this turn, and that will allow many armies to just punch right through to people. There's a better one that I'm trying to remember, that like there's one that makes mana when you blow up a land, and that's what you want to be copying. But it's a long time ago. I'm looking for the red mana symbols in here, and I'm trying to find it quickly. It's from like Ravnica or something. Keep going back.
Beep. Beep. Beep.
Back it up. Back it up.
Ding!
Oh,
Time's out.
go. Okay. Well, trust me, there is a land destruction spell that makes mana, and that's probably your best bet to copy. But honestly, just build this in bracket 4, and hopefully you won't lose any friends that way. Putting him in the tier list, I'm gonna put him in wild card, but like way up here. Actually, ooh, is he actually strong?
I think
is
he should go into super with the caveat reserved for bracket 4 and up.
You know what? Yeah. In fact, I think he's... I'm not sure where he goes in this, but maybe there. And did that seriously never... Oh, it did eventually load, but... what? There! Found it! This card! Yeah, 4 mana, destroy a land, and then you make 2 mana, and then you copy that, and then you make 4 mana, and blah, blah, blah. Moving on. Ghost, Spectral Saboteur. We have seen them in the MCU. They are one of the main villains in...
Thunderbolts, right?
Oh, well, they're in Thunderbolts, but they're not one of the main villains there. They're one of the main villains in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ah.
And they're a girl there. I'm not sure if they're a girl here. But what do they do?
For 2 mana and a blue or black, you get a 2/2 human rogue villain with flash and an ability called Intangibility, because Ghost can't be blocked.
Well then.
Rack up the 1/1 counters, and you might be able to just commander damage somebody to death.
Okay. So I'm going to say right off the bat here that this is actually going to be a much better card in the 99 of... I'm not going to put him between the two villains. I'm going to put him between the villain pair and the hero pair over here. Well, she's not a hero.
Electra's more of an anti-hero.
Yeah, actually. Okay, villain on there. Well, she's been both. I'm going to put her over there because if you've got a rogue deck or a villain deck, being able to hit someone for unblockable, and flash speed and all this stuff, this is great. And of course with flash, if they're in the command zone, they see it coming. If they're not, then it can be a real surprise for people. Also, I haven't mentioned that this is typically called hybrid mana. But the most popular rogue commander that I see every once in a while is Anawan the Ruin Thief. Because a few years ago, you were able to buy this guy's deck for $20, and it was a whole commander deck, and it was pretty good. And other rogues you control get +1/+1, and when they hit a player, you mill that player, and also you draw a card. So you put a lot of rogues in the 99, Ghost is a great one. Now, Ghost can be your commander, and I actually think it's a weird platform for possibly beating some people up, where you could put some crazy equipment on this and then just have this weird inevitable drag race kind of thing going on, where in blue and black you've got so many ways of protecting her from dying or getting targeted. That's probably no fun, though. I think she's going to be better in an N1 deck. So, I'll move on to Grim Reaper, Lethal Legionnaire, who looks a little silly considering he seems to have traded in his right hand for a blade.
For a scythe.
Yeah. A scythe is a blade.
Yeah, but, you know.
And the corpses have been sown. Now to harvest.
This guy looks a little silly to me.
Oh, yeah. Look at that hat.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that's a helmet. It goes all the way around his chin. Yeah, we got real 60s style villains going on here, but what does he do?
For 3 mana and a black, you get a 3/4 human villain. Whenever Grim Reaper attacks, you may pay 3 mana and a black. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking with a finality counter on it. Sounds like you already have your mind made up.
Lame. Reject. Look, 4 mana for a 3/4 doesn't pass the vanilla test.
Nope.
Keyword abilities to make up for it, Death
None.
Touch, First Strike, Lifelink, none of that crap. Even though I could see an argument for any of those, maybe all of them. Whenever he attacks, you pay 4 mana and stop listening, because nothing else is worth it. I mean, bring back a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking with a finality counter on it can be powerful if you've put freaking Eldrazi or the biggest, blackest creature you've ever seen in your graveyard. But for 4 mana to do it, and finality counter, so you probably can't do it again because the creature will get exiled. And it only happens when he attacks, which will probably be on like turn 5. Like, there's just so many things that can go wrong here. No way.
He's a reject, and we probably should have known from just looking at him.
Yep. But next we have Hawkeye, Master Marksman. This is the red Hawkeye.
Alright, for 1 mana and a red, you get a 2/2 human archer hero with first strike and reach. We are passing that vanilla test with flying colors today.
Yes, we are.
Alright, trick arrows. Whenever Hawkeye becomes tapped, you may pay 1 up to 3 times. And when you do, choose up to that many. Net. Target creature can't block. Explosive. Hawkeye deals 2 damage to target player. Boomerang. Discard a card, then draw a card. And it looks like those are the 3 arrows he's shooting at us.
Yeah, Hawkeye is known in large part for his trick arrows that do all kinds of different things.
Does he do water arrows? Please tell me he does water arrows.
I don't know, but certainly the red Hawkeye doesn't. Maybe if there was a blue Hawkeye, he would. I do like the first strike and reach being a good representative for an archer, despite being in red. But it's when he becomes tapped, you may pay that. So you gotta find a reason to get him tapped, but for most creatures like this, they say like when they attack or something like that. He does not have to attack. So I think the plan is to put things like Viridian Longbow on him.
Still on brand, I see.
Yep, so now he can tap to deal 1 damage to any target.
And then shoot 3 more arrows!
Whee!
Multi-shot!
Yeah, or is it Pyromancy? Is that the card that I'm thinking of? Nope. Arcane, Teachings? Okay, there's probably a better card than this one out there, but there's a couple of auras that say, like, creature has blah blah blah, tap, deal 1 damage to any target, and that's probably what you want to have on Hawkeye. So you can tap, do a damage, you pay 1, you do more damage, you pay 1, you do more damage, you pay 1, you do more damage.
You want any excuse to get him to fire all of the arrows.
Yeah, and, you could tap him by attacking with him. If he's got first strike and you do give him, like, +2/+2 and some junk, then, okay, that's not bad. Overall, I'm leaning towards maybe kind of,
Wild card, maybe?
yeah, like low wild card, like maybe around here. Still not terribly exciting, but, has some potential. So, we'll go on then to another Hawkeye, Young Avenger. who I believe is his apprentice. Maybe in some comics. Yeah. Kate Bishop.
All
Okay.
right, for 3 mana and a red, you get a 2/4 human archer hero with reach.
Yeah.
If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, instead it deals that much damage plus X, where X is Hawkeye's power. Not bad for a girl with no superpowers, huh?
Oh my. So, okay, I just thought of a good card to use with her. It's called the one I just showed you. Arcane Teachings. So she gets +2/+2 and can ping, right? So now, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent. Okay, so now instead of doing 1 damage, you're doing damage equal to her power, which is now 4. So now she taps to do 4 damage to any target. And of course, this applies to all non-combat damage. Your lightning bolts are doing 4. You can be playing a lot of equipment on her. I showed you the other day things like Bone Splitter and Blood something Axe. You can play. I often don't play this card anymore because I find it to be a little mana intensive. But honestly, this is a deck you might want to put Locks on a Warhammer in.
Ooh, yeah.
In fact, if a source you control... Okay, this does not change whatever your original thing is that's doing the damage to being Hawkeye doing the damage. Like, if you Lightning Bolt, you're not going to lifelink off of it. But if you do, tap her to ping somebody, she now has 3 more power... And you gain 5 life every time you ping something for 5. That's pretty crazy. Or heck, yeah, Basilisk Caller. I mean, a lot of you probably know this one already. But Death Touch and Lifelink. Now 1 damage is enough to kill anything, and you're gaining multiple life. So honestly, there's a lot of things that she can do. I know that there's a few other cards like her. I think she probably doesn't compare that well to O'Hare Ashanil, which is also 4 mana and starts off as a 4/4 trampler, and says, yeah, if a red source you control would deal non-combat damage less than his power, it deals his power instead. And if he dies, he turns into a pyramid, and then you can pay some mana and turn him back into a guy again. Well, a thing, a being,
A god.
a god. So I think she's actually kind of a slightly worse O'Hare Ashanil. But O'Hare Ashanil is a badass.
So, you got a ways to fall there.
Yeah, so I think I'm actually going to put her, once again, kind of near the top of Wild Card. Because I think that she, may not be... Like, she's kind of strictly one-up by this other card. But she's still pretty good.
Yeah, you can do some fun stuff.
Okay, so next we have Hellcat Undying Vigilante, and I do not remember this furry.
Neither do I, but I'm guessing that she's an orange cat, which means that she's bitey and has a single brain cell.
Looks like it. What does she do?
For 2 green, you get a 2/2 human hero with haste. Oh, it's unusual for a green card.
Yeah.
When Hellcat dies, return her to the battlefield under her owner's control with a 1/1 counter on her. She loses all abilities and gains haste.
Loses all abilities and gains haste? Loses all... Okay, look, I get that if you had Phyrexian Altar, which I've referenced a couple of times, but I haven't actually shown it yet. So if there's some possibility that you haven't seen Phyrexian Altar, it's an artifact that you can sack a creature to add 1 mana of any color. So, you can sacrifice her. She'll die. She'll return to the battlefield under your control.
A little stronger, still has haste. That's it.
If she didn't lose all of her abilities, then you could sacrifice her again, and she'd come back for free, and you just make infinite green mana. So I guess you can't just do that. But, she has Undying in the type line, because there's cards like, I'm not gonna remember the name of the Green Geist, but there's a Green Geist somewhere, this guy, double green for a 2-power creature with haste and undying. Seems similar? And Undying is when this creature dies, if it had no +1/+1 counter on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Well, look at that.
That
That's
guy's
what she
dentist
does.
must really like him.
Ooh.
Never has to tell him to open wider. He's got it covered.
Oh, I think I have one of these promos.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I kind of like the original better, though. It has a little more character to it.
Yeah. Geists of the hanged often haunt the tree on which they died. Ew. Anyway, so she doesn't literally have Undying, but she pretty much has Undying. Why would anyone play this as their commander? Because you can bring her out on turn 2 and swing with her immediately as a 2/2 and then do nothing else for the rest of the game. Because she'll die once and come back once, and then she'll die again and not come back. And
I guess that's one way to cheat the mana tax.
is this even good in the 99 of a hero deck, maybe? I don't think so. I think she's probably going to be sitting, like, around here.
Oof.
Yeah.
Darn,
Rejected,
I like cats.
Hellcat. Sorry. Next, we have Hercules, Prince of Power.
Posing for a magazine cover.
Yeah, and what the lady who's behind him going like, "Excuse me, sir, Mr. Hercules, can I get an exclusive?"
We're in a museum. Please put that down.
Oh yeah, that's what's going on. He's like, "This actually belonged to me 1,000 years ago.
Sir.
2,000 years ago, I mean.
Sir.
I'm taking it back."
No. Oh, I'm so gonna get fired over this.
Well, what does it do?
For 2 mana and a For 2 mana and a green, you get a 3/3 demigod warrior hero, and the ability is power up for 4 and another green. Put a 1/1 counter on Hercules. He gains vigilance, indestructible, and haste until end of turn.
0 to hero, just like that.
0 to hero, no time flat.
Okay, so I see some problems here. So if you cast him for his normal cost, which in mono green you could do on turn 2 with like a Land of War Elves or Birds of Paradise or something, then he's a 3-mana 3/3 and can later do the power up thing. That makes him pretty lame, but if you do have the 5 mana all at once, you can drop him. You can put a counter on him. You can give him vigilance and haste and indestructible and attack with him one time as a 4/4 for 5. Whoa!
That's a lot of effort for not a lot of output.
And then he's not indestructible anymore, and he doesn't have haste anymore.
He keeps the counter, but that's like saying, I paid 8 mana to be here, and all I got was this stupid t-shirt.
Yeah, and of course, he doesn't even get a t-shirt.
He has no need for shirt.
No need to avert your eyes, mortal admirers. Nay, I say feast them.
I like those leg straps. I would totally wear those.
Ah, neat. Well, I think
But only
that
if I wanted to be a bit scandalous.
the power-up mechanic also doesn't have the support that it would need for, like, anyone with power-up to be potentially strong. Like, if there was a commander out there that said, like, all your power-up abilities cost less, or you do them twice or something, then that would be great. Except I think there is actually one, but it's just one, and it's just, like, green or something, and there's another one that's just, like, blah, 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 blah. I think he's lame.
Ouch.
Maybe around here. Because if you don't power him up, he does jack. He's
kind of a nothing
Centaur
burger.
Courser. When I've asked you before to read Magic cards, there's a lot of flavor text on this one, but I especially like... Well, what? Do they not... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought the Centaur Courser was printed as a textless card at one point. Oh well. I'm out. I don't care enough. Let's move on. To Hulk, Gamma Goliath.
For 3 mana, a red, and a green, you get a 6/5 Gamma Berserker hero with reach and trample. Power-up abilities of other creatures you control cost 3 less to activate, so that's kind of neat.
Speak of the devil.
Power up 6 mana, red green. Put 5 1/1 counters on Hulk.
Okay.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Okay, so, okay, vanilla test.
Passed.
Yeah, with reach and trample. He is 2 colors and cares about power up. So now you actually have a reason to look through all those commons and uncommons that you've got that have power up. At least if they're green or red, they might be able to do something pretty schmancy.
And Hulk himself, 5 1/1s on him. That brings him up to 11-10. And he has reach and trample.
That's pretty sick. And in red and green, I can imagine somebody going like, okay, turn 2, I play Nature's Lore. Turn 3, I cultivate. And also I played a birds earlier. And also I'm using, like, so you could easily have done a number of ramp spells and then just, like, skip on past turn number 5.
Time to rack up that commander damage.
Yeah, and, reach is not a terribly exciting ability to have on a commander like this, but trample definitely is.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's one of the few things that cares about power-up abilities. So if we go back here briefly to this card that I discussed a million years ago, if you can remember back this far, a card called Hercules, which has power up on it. Being able to do this for 2 mana almost makes him playable.
Almost.
Almost.
He's probably still going to get knocked off the chopping block once you line up your power-up buddies.
Well, you should, except I'm worried that there just aren't even enough.
Oh no!
Which is why I think I'm going to put... Where is he?
He's a couple cards over.
What the... H.I. Boy. Okay. Well, anyway. Which is why I'm going to put him in wild card. But maybe around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you have a reason to look... You know what? That's the last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to search to see how many cards with power up are in red and green. Power up. And there's a hyphen, isn't there? I think there's a hyphen. There's a hyphen.
There's a hyphen.
Okay, in red and green, how many are there? There are 23.
23.
Okay. Looks like 1 or 2 of them don't have power up itself, but... Okay, so are we hearing that red-green is the color that focuses on the power-up ability? Because this seems to me like this is viable. It's just, wild card. That's where he belongs. Okay.
Okay.
Pretty pleased. So we're moving on to Hulkling, Burgeoning Bruiser.
Oh,
another
that blonde
uncommon.
hair is not your color.
Yeah. Okay. What does it do?
For 2 mana and a green, you get a 2/3 Kree Scroll hero with Vigilance. Whenever another creature you control enters, if it has greater power or toughness than Hulkling, put a 1/1 counter on Hulkling.
He's got Evolve. Okay, have I mentioned it recently that Magic has been doing a thing where if we're reusing a keyword mechanic, we literally do use the keyword mechanic, but then sometimes I still see a card like this where they just didn't? Like how that creature a minute ago had Undying, except they didn't call it Undying and they made it a little worse. This guy literally has Evolve, which we can find on creatures like... actually, am I thinking correctly here? Is it Skatewing that has that? Nope,
That's
it sure
Adapt.
isn't. That one has Adapt. Well, okay, I'm gonna find one real quick. Evolve. Sure. This guy. I play this one in my mutant deck. This guy has Evolve. Whenever a creature you control enters, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, you put a +++ counter on this creature. So, it's just that, but they didn't call it Evolve.
For some reason.
And as long as you keep the reminder text on it, then no one should have any difficulty understanding what the card does, because the reminder text explains the whole thing. But they did try to make this set more approachable to new players by spelling out everything with no shorthands for anyone to be able to, like, group them together and link them to other mechanics. So
But isn't
I
that what
don't
the
agree with that decision.
Me either. It's like, that's what the reminder text is for.
Also, how is this guy a Kree and a Skrull, and he's called Hulkling, so, like, I would think that he's a Gamma guy as well, somehow?
The flavor text
What's
explains a
going on?
little bit.
Oh, we all named ourselves after the original Avengers. I picked the Hulk, be honest, wouldn't you?
So he's not a Gamma hero, he's just a fan.
Okay, in the background, I think I see Wiccan
I could
on
not
the
tell you.
roof. This guy. Looks like him.
Teeny bit.
Anyway,
Emphasis on teeny.
okay, a 3-mana 2/3 vigilance that when a bigger creature comes in, he grows. Honestly, that is pretty
That's
crummy.
sidekick material.
It's at best sidekick material because that means that his greatest strength is that he'll always be the second strongest that you control. At best. So he's just got vigilance. And you know what? It's way easier to give vigilance to a good creature than to make the creature with vigilance here good.
Is he going in the reject pile?
He's going in the reject pile. I think he's better than the Grim Reaper, though, because that guy's kind of embarrassing. And I can imagine a deck he would go in where you, like, care about +1/+1 counters, but it's still not that good. And as your commander, it's not worth it at all. So, next we have Human Torch Johnny Storm. Is this the first Fantastic Four character we've spoken about? I feel like it might be. Regardless, what do they do?
For 2 mana and a red, you get a 2/2 human hero with flying. Whenever you draw a card, if you control another hero, Human Torch deals damage to target opponent. And our friend here has a power-up of 6 mana and a red to put 3 1/1 counters on the Human Torch.
Okay.
Which brings him up to 5/5, which isn't bad, but is it really worth 7 mana?
Well, I mean, okay, we've got an uncommon here, so all of his abilities can't be that good. In fact, you know, he could have just said whenever you draw a card, you deal 1 damage to target opponent. But no,
he's got to have
control
parental supervision.
Yeah, and I don't see a 4 theme on this card anywhere. He doesn't have 4 power or toughness. He doesn't become 4 power or toughness. You don't put 4 counters on him. None of his costs are 4. Everything is just slightly off from the number 4, when, as we'll see, I think in other cards related to the Fantastic Four, they really lean into the number 4 and a lot of the rest of it.
I guess that's why he has 3 4s on his card.
Yeah, he doesn't have 4 4s, he has 3 4s. Also, when you draw a card, dealing 1 damage to target opponent is okay. Dealing 1 damage to each opponent would be better. Controlling another hero wouldn't be hard in a hero deck, but it would be hard in a Human Torch Johnny Storm deck. And him being in the 99 of a power-up deck, like with that Hulk from before, still seems pretty lame, because he's just like a small flyer who becomes a big flyer. You could just play a dragon. Just put it... Do people like dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people like
Manifestly
dragons.
so.
So I think he might go in the 99 of that one Hulk deck. And you could say the same thing about Hercules here, who I think is pretty bad. But I think I'm going to put him right down here.
Sorry, kid, you're just not ready for the responsibility.
No. No, you are not. Aha! Our second Fantastic Four member. His older sister, Invisible Woman, Sue Storm.
For 4 mana and a white, you get a 2/5 human hero with lifelink. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on 1 or more heroes other heroes you control, you may create a 0/4 colorless wall creature token with Defender.
Okay, I like at least that the walls have 4 toughness. I like nothing else about this card.
Yeah, this isn't really a win condition card, is it?
No, I mean, you can win with walls, but usually it's because your commander says walls aren't walls. You can win by putting +1/+1 counters on your creatures or through hero synergies, but she doesn't do it.
She could go into a Prismari deck. No, Pramicon.
Pramicon, kind of. She could go into an Arcades the Strategist deck. Let me pull that one up. Arcades the Strategist. I used to play this guy as a commander. In fact, can you read this one for us?
For 1 mana, a green, a white, and a blue, you get a 3/5 Elder Dragon with flying and vigilance.
Yeah.
Whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though it didn't have Defender.
So this solves most of her problems, right? It includes white. When the defender enters, you draw a card. Sick. The defender can now attack, and it's basically a 4/4. Great. So she would be good in this deck, right? Wrong, because you only do that if you put a +1/+1 counter on a hero. Not her, other heroes. And then she's got lifelink, as if, like, you didn't just spend all the other cards in your 99 doing all of this shit in order to finally circle back around to, like, oh yeah, I guess I can gain 2 life here and there. And, oh yeah, my commander doesn't come out until turn 5 in, like, maybe the worst color at ramping. I mean, no. Why is my alphabet so bad? I don't know. The cards are small.
What a lousy treatment for one of the first ladies of comics.
Yeah, I think she's better than Hulkling. She might be better than Bullseye Death Dealer, but basically I think your best bet is to throw her in the 99 of a hero deck that includes white, where the commander is really good, and it has to not just be a hero deck, but a hero deck that does +1/+1 counters and includes white. And then the payoff for it is you make walls, and I don't think that's a very good payoff. So I don't think she's even a particularly good sidekick. Oh, it's time for someone to wake up. Is it you? Is it me? Who knows?
I think I figured out why my alarm didn't go off when it should have.
Oh, you set it for PM instead of AM?
I
Well.
feel smart.
Hey, look, who hasn't done that before? The next one on our list is Iron Fist. Living Weapon.
For 2 mana and a red, you get a 2/3 human warrior hero. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, Iron Fist gains tap. Iron Fist deals damage equal to his power to any other target until end of turn.
So, it's kind of weird here, to me, that this also fits really well into an Anax and Siamede deck.
Huh.
Yeah. You remember who else fits into an Anax and Siamede deck? I believe it was Colleen Wing.
Yeah.
And Colleen Wing and Iron Fist, I believe they date. They're like boyfriend and girlfriend for a while. She's in his TV series. His TV series is pretty lame.
Maybe
But-
Anax and Siamede set them up.
Oh, yeah. Even though they're from Theros and they're king and queen, but whatever. So tapping to deal damage equal to his power to any other target would be powerful if he had... Actually, no, it is powerful. But you do have to cast a spell that targets a creature you control. So what is a spell that you could cast that you could target a creature you control that maybe ideally would synergize with the fact that he deals damage equal to his power? I'm going to hit the back button a bunch until we see the thing that I'm referring to for like the 4th or 5th time. There it is. This, surprisingly. Why is this 50-cent card that nobody plays actually getting a lot of love today?
Everyone needs a day in the limelight.
Yeah. So, you cast Arcane Teachings, and he becomes a 4/5 that can now tap for 1 damage, or tap for 4 damage until end of turn. And then, after that turn, he can still tap for 1. But, so, is Arcane Teachings the best thing to do on Iron Fist? Far from it. Far from it. I can come up with better. How about Sound of Drums? Can you read that one for us?
For two mana and a red, you get an enchantment aura. The enchanted creature is goaded. If enchanted creature would deal combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. And for 2 mana and a red, you return the Sound of Drums from your graveyard to your hand.
Okay, so I forgot this has combat damage, so that doesn't work as good as I thought. Well, bummer. Okay. Still, You can probably look through Magic's history yourself. You can do Scryfall searches. You've seen me do them. Search for things that say target creature and that add power. And I think I've even shown you before, brute... It's not brute force, is it? It's brute... It is brute force. Just do that. Just give him +3/+3 in tone to turn for 1 red, and now he taps to do 5 damage to any target. And you just do that every turn. And is it a powerful deck? No. This is probably like a bracket 2 all-star, though.
Yeah.
You know, pretty sick. And if you can find things that like double non-combat damage, hell, throw him in a deck with that Hawkeye from before. Which Hawkeye? This Hawkeye, the Young Avenger. But he is kind of sidekick material because you're playing mono red, and I don't think that it adds up that well. But I could see it going like maybe around here.
Not too bad. So bad, but not too bad. Dragonheart Puncher.
Yeah, because you do have to jump through a couple of hoops in order to do his thing, and even then his thing is like only okay. But yeah, he's got some potential. Then we have Ironheart, Clever Champion.
I kind of want to zoom in a little bit because she looks like she's got a bit of a Joker smile there, and it's creeping me out.
Whoa. Okay,
Her
I really
suit is
like.
wicked cool, though.
Yeah, it is. Okay, hold on. Let's control boop 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 doop.
I think she's a little too happy to see us.
Okay, yeah, she's got a little bit of like lipstick smearing kind of thing due to the pixels.
All right.
I think I usually keep it around this zoom. I don't remember. Anyway.
For 4 mana and a blue, you get a 3/4 human hero with Improvise. Your artifacts can help cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1.
Mm-hmm.
And she is flying, and non-creature spells you cast have Improvise.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So improvise. So basically, you can tap artifacts to make your artifacts cheaper. That you then tap to make more artifacts more cheaperer. This seems like some kind of perpetual motion device waiting to happen. It is not clear to me exactly what you're going to do with this, but normally in a deck where you've got like 4 and a blue for a commander who cares about artifacts, I'd say you want to play all the mana rocks you can. But Improvise makes all of your rocks mana ones. So don't necessarily make them all mana. Whatever is the cheapest way of producing artifacts that you can do, the better. For some reason, the first guy I'm thinking of is the Master Thopterist. Yeah, Psi Master Thopterist, who's a 3-mana 1/4. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you make an artifact creature token that has other text, and I don't care. Because you cast an artifact, you get an artifact. And then you can cast the artifact for less because you were tapping artifacts, and you're getting more artifacts that you're using to tap for making them less. And blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
It's the Grey Goo scenario!
Yeah, pretty much. Thankfully, you're in colors where you can't easily like copy tokens that you're making, but this seems... My alphabet is so poor. This seems super.
Well done.
Yeah. For mono blue, you should have all the tools that you need to make this crazy without necessarily being stuck in bracket 4. Hopefully. Hopefully she's no Urza Lord High Artificer. But she seems pretty good. Oh, and did I mention that she's like got flying, and you probably aren't paying 5 mana for her, you're probably paying a few less, so like a flying 3/4 that does this stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. Then we've got an Iron Lad. This is just kind of silly to me. But Diverging Destiny. I don't know anything about this guy.
I don't either.
Okay.
For 2 mana and a blue, you get a 2/2 human hero with flying and vigilance.
Oh.
You may look at the top card of your library anytime. And if you tap him, reveal the top card of your library, and if it's an artifact card, draw a card.
Okay, so 3 mana 2/2 flying vigilance, and then you kind of just like draw cards a lot. This is, like, kind of efficient, if not terribly exciting.
Hang on, is that the Watcher in the background?
Is that an 8 Mile quote in his flavor text? Or is it a quote from Brave?
Braveheart, actually.
Oh, is that Braveheart?
I think so.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you take it? Okay, so I don't know if I go so far as to say wild card because I'm not quite sure what you do with this guy. But he seems like a pretty good guy. So I'm honestly thinking like way up here in sidekicks. If you're playing a hero deck that includes blue, he seems like a pretty solid middle-of-the-road guy to play. If you're playing, heavy artifact... In fact, he seems great in an Iron Heart deck, what we were just looking at. Any deck that plays, like, a bajillion artifacts in blue, he seems pretty good.
All right.
So, we finally get to the man who kicked off the MCU himself, Iron Man, master of machines.
It is such a crime they couldn't license the Iron Man music for the first film.
That's okay. They found some similar stuff. It was still a good time.
And they did eventually get the song in there, but I think it was in like Iron Man 2.
Probably.
All right, for 2 mana, a blue and a red, you get a 1/4 human hero with flying and vigilance. Iron Man gets 1/0 for each other artifact you control.
Oh.
Whenever Iron Man attacks, if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card.
Ooh. Also, is it just me, or, like, obviously we're supposed to imagine all these guys are like, flying up, but I'm now imagining them all getting sucked into that toilet in the background. They're all getting flushed. They're like, no! The future is what we make of it. And flush.
Run!
So, you remember how I was just talking about a deck that's absolutely full of artifacts?
Yeah, this, basically.
Yeah, this guy goes nuts. I mean, I used to love a card called Cranial Plating. And I would love to put Cranial Plating into some really nasty artifact decks. Can you read this for us?
For 2 mana, you get an equipment. Equipped creatures get +1/+0 for each artifact you control. For 2 black, you attach Cranial Plating to target creature you control.
And equip 1. So I would put this into such nasty decks, except that it does have the double black mana pip on it, so you can only play it in black decks, and for whatever reason, none of the black decks that I brainstormed seem to be artifact decks, and vice versa. So, unfortunately, you can't put Cranial Plating in the Iron Man deck either, but he's already wearing a Cranial Plating, which is neat and kind of nuts. What is the coolest thing that I can think of to put on this guy? It is the Reaver Cleaver, which rhymes, and I love it. Check this one out.
For 2 mana and a red, you get an equipment. Equipped creature gets 1/1 and has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, create that many treasure tokens and equip 3.
Whee! So, if your board is literally like turn 3 Reaver Cleaver, turn 4 Iron Man, turn 5 swing with them, that's all you've done. In fact, no. Let's say turn 2 you did a Signet or a Talisman. Pretty typical game plan stuff there. Artifact on turn 2, 3, 4, swing with Iron Man. You're dealing, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 damage, and then making 5 more artifacts, so then now he's doing 10 damage next time, and that's right, he has Vigilance, so he has 10 power, and can still block for you, and then every time that you hit, you like more than double his power. Put the Reaver Cleaver in the deck. So even the uncommon Iron Man is pretty awesome. Not to mention, he draws you cards. Not like a lot, but he draws you cards.
Can I just say, I love how each of the Iron Men is a different variation of his suit.
Yeah.
I think the oldest one is in the bottom right-hand corner.
That might be Mark 1 or maybe Mark 2. Yeah.
Also, I think that's the Avengers Tower that they're flying out of. But yes, it does look a bit like a toilet and or a water cooler.
Yeah. Okay, so where does he go is the question. Is he all the way up in Super? Is he in Wild Card?
I think Super.
He might be, you know what? This might be the only uncommon making it all the way up to Super. I think she might still be better because the reward here isn't just a guy with high power, but he makes up for it with the fact that he's two colors, red and blue. So, yeah, it's good stuff. Now, I've been waiting to get to Jennifer Walters, because I know that this is going to be one of your favorite characters, and I would love to brainstorm a deck with her, with you at some point. So...
maybe a deck that just has lawyer characters in general.
There's enough of them now, kind of. So...
We're getting there, if nothing else.
Yeah, why don't you tell us what she does?
For one mana and a white, you get a 2/3 human advisor hero. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. No objections!
And we're passing the vanilla test already. Not to mention, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn is normally something that you would pay like 2 mana for a creature that's all they do. But also...
If you pay 3 mana, a green, and 2 white, she transforms into the sensational She-Hulk, a 6/6 gamma hero with reach and trample. Your opponents still can't cast spells during your turn.
Yep. No breaks from that.
Whenever a creature you control is dealt damage, you may have the sensational She-Hulk deal that much damage to any target. Do this only once each turn.
Okay, so importantly, this is another one of those double face commanders where you can cast it on the front or on the back. So if you don't have anything better to do on turn 2, get her out there. Your opponents can't screw with you. But if you did have better things to do for the first few turns, you can just cast her for full-on 6 later in the game. You've got access to green, so you've got plenty of ramp availability anyway. Reach, trample, 6/6 for 6 that shuts down your opponent's spell. All solid. It's that last ability that is perhaps the most interesting, but let me see if I can kind of wrap my head around it a little more here. Whenever a creature you control is dealt damage, you may have the Sensational Hulk deal that much damage to any target. Okay, so when your other creatures are hit, then she hits back that hard. So if you chump block with like a squirrel, and the squirrel blocks like an Eldrazi, then She-Hulk will punch the Eldrazi player. Any target. She-Hulk will punch the Eldrazi player. So...
Don't mess with her entourage, she'll mess you up.
It sounds like part of the strategy with her is going to be playing like chump blockers that you want to see get chump blocked. And strangely enough, I was thinking, maybe you make creatures that have protection from colors, or maybe you put in like a vigor or something where it prevents the damage, but no, you need to have the damage dealt. So your best bet is probably going to be some indestructible creatures. The damage is dealt, it just fails to kill them.
I keep forgetting that there's that... Well, I keep forgetting the name of that one beetle that's indestructible.
There isn't a beetle that's indestructible. There's a enchantment that makes a creature an indestructible beetle. And that is Darksteel Mutation. At least I think this is what you're thinking of.
Yep.
Yeah.
The indestructible beetle.
Yeah. Honestly, this would be an excellent card to put in the 99 because while I usually use it on my opponent's stuff in order to turn their commander into a 0/1 that doesn't do anything, and also they probably can't even get it killed themselves if they wanted to. But in a pinch, you could cast it on one of your own creatures, like I don't know, some creature that like a wood elves or something, where it entered, it did a thing like got you a forest, and then it's kind of just sitting there. Well,
And now it's your invincible sidekick.
Yay! Invincible sidekick bug.
Indestructible sidekick. And whenever someone messes with the indestructible sidekick, I get to punch them.
Yeah. So we do have a bit of a strategy going on here, but honestly, Everything about her is super to the point of being my hero.
Yeah.
All the way up there. Okay. We
Who doesn't
finally
love her?
we finally got one that has a little bit of extra sauce on her.
I am so going to make a lawyer deck.
Hell yeah. And there will be a bunch more options in here. I'm just saying. And we also have Jessica Jones, who is adjacent to some lawyering stuff, but she's not a lawyer. She's a private eye.
Yeah.
A detective. What does she do?
For 2 mana and a red, you get a 2/3 human detective hero. If you tap her, you can put a stun counter on her. If you tap her and put a stun counter on her, then you exile the top X cards of your library, where X is Jessica Jones's power. You may play those cards this turn. Lame. I mean, reject.
Yeah. What?
We went from the top to
Jessica!
the bottom.
Jessica! First off, Jessica is super powered. She's like Captain America level of super strength.
Oh, dang.
She literally could like arm wrestle Captain America and it might be a tie. Like she's not Hulk strong, but really strong. She can leap tall buildings in a single bound, pretty much, you know? So she's very strong. However, she's an alcoholic. So I would trade all my powers for a fresh pot of hot coffee right now. And she's kind of a private detective, but she's also a mess. And she's one of the reasons I love her show. Her show and the Daredevil TV show are both the best of those Netflix Marvel shows. I think it'd be a good watch sometimes, in part because of just how much of a freaking mess she is. We are supporting women's wrongs out here. But this magic card, I kind of like the flavor of putting a stun counter on her, meaning that she's like hungover or something.
Stayed up too late working and drinking and working and drinking.
Yep, she's definitely done that far too many times. She has trauma. She has history. And she drinks to forget.
And she just did not come into the magic card office feeling her best today.
No, she did not have that fresh pot of coffee, actually. I mean, for one thing, exiles cards equal to her power. She's a 2/3. I think that they could have easily made her a 3/3 here. Next is, you may play those cards this turn, not like until your next turn or until the end of your next turn. Either of those would have worked out. They didn't give her any other keyword abilities or anything like that. It's just super not worth it.
Go home,
You're
to therapy.
drunk.
Go home, go to therapy, get cleaned up, and then we'll talk.
I really, really hope and kind of expect that in the 6 Marvel sets that we're expecting, we get another much better crack at Jessica Jones, one that isn't uncommon. In fact, I think that this is another good stopping point for today. I do love her show, and we love her show too, Jennifer Walters.
I hope there's a season 2. I really want there to be a season 2.
Yeah, not everybody loved the She-Hulk show. Obviously, a lot of people like really trash talk it. We loved it because we actually are totally cool with there being a like female-centered comedy movie show with some action in it.
Yeah, I found it very pleasant. It's like, okay, not everything needs to be, world-ending level threats. Some things can just be personal, and it's also funny to see superheroes going through the legal system. Superheroes and supervillains. It's cute.
Yeah, it's just a fun show. Just don't take yourself so dang seriously all the time. And with that said, we now have our tier list looking as such.
We have a lot of sidekicks.
Yeah, we do. I mean, but I do actually appreciate that, because to me that says that we've got a lot of cards that are like, okay, they just aren't necessarily commander material, but they're still playable.
Unfortunately, the second biggest tier right now is the rejects.
By a small margin, but yeah. I mean, look, the more legendary creatures they print in sets, the more bad legendary creatures they're going to have.
Yeah, they can't all be winners.
No. So I'm sure that we'll get another shot at Deadshot. Oh,
Bullseye.
Bullseye.
That's
I can't
Bullseye
read
you're
it. It's
hovering
so small.
over.
It's so small. I can't read. Oh, I should be looking at the other screen. Yeah, it's readable there. Um, I know that we are getting other shots at Invisible Woman, and I don't think anyone cares too much about some of these other ones here. So they'll have chances to redeem themselves, but we're going to be back for a part 3 and probably a part 4. So please, please stick with us. Come back. There's so many. Please give us a like or a subscribe or something, because we're spending so much time dedicated to telling this all to you guys.
A little
Of course,
comment goes a long way. We like those.
yeah, of course, I do enjoy hearing myself talk, and especially about Commander. I love that more than... It's my number one hobby. I just love Magic. That said, I think I've spoken enough for today. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.